So, good day everyone. So, today we're going to discuss the fundamentals of curriculum design. So, curriculum change is inevitable, necessary, and desirable. One of the characteristic of curriculum, it is dynamic. So, kapag sinabi natin na it is dynamic is kailangan may changes or may pagbabago pero we need to meet the needs of our current world. So, it is inevitable kasi whether we like it or not, is kailangan nating sundin kung ano yung i-implement nilang curriculum. So, it is necessary kasi dito kailangan yung mga curriculum natin if it stays outdated, yung mga students is hindi sila matututo or yung kaalaman nila is hindi talaga mamamatch yung needs ng current world natin. So, it is desirable naman kasi nga the students need to learn or dapat magkaroon sila ng improvement sa mga skills nila or say for instance that the students need to improve their capabilities kung paano sila makakapag-came up sa real world situation natin. So next is the curriculum reflects as a product of its time. A relevant curriculum should respond to changes brought about the current social forces, philosophical positions, psychological principles, new knowledge, and educator reforms. This is called timeliness. Dito naman, kailangan natin na kapag gagawa pa rin tayo ng isang curriculum is kailangan natin na magre-reflect pa rin tayo kung ano yung relevant or yung napapanahon na curriculum na or kung ano yung mga needs ng mga student, dapat ma-address natin yon para makapagawa tayo ng isang curriculum kung saan yung needs nila is mamimet natin or mabibigyan natin ng solution. So, the third one is curriculum changes made earlier can exist concurrently with newer curriculum changes. A revision in a curriculum starts and ends slowly. More often, the curriculum is gradually phased in and phased out. Thus, the change that occurs can coexist and oftentimes overlaps for a periods of time. So, dito naman, sinasabi na yung constant revision from time to time ng isang curriculum is nawawala din siya or nagkakameron ng bago, then mawawala din. Say for example, dati, meron lang tayong junior high school kung saan after junior high school is pwede na tayong makapag-enroll sa college. So today, in-implement nila yung curriculum ng matatag curriculum sa DepEd and also yung K-12. So, yung K-12, ginawa siya or dinesign siya in order to prepare the students bago sila mag-enroll sa college. So, the next one is the curriculum change depends on who will implement the change. Most read teachers who will implement the curriculum should be involved in its development. Hence, should know how to design a curriculum. This will assure an effective and long-lasting change. So, dito naman, sinasabi na dapat kapag mag-i-implement ka ng isang curriculum is alam mo kung paano yun i-implement and kung ano yung magiging effect nun sa mga student and also kung magkakameron ba ng development kapag in-implement mo yung isang curriculum or sabihin na natin na as a future educator, bago tayo mag-i-implement ng isang curriculum, dapat unang-una is marunong din tayo gumawa or alam natin kung paano gumawa ng tamang curriculum kung saan ma-address natin yung mga pangangailangan ng mga students, not only students but also the teachers, kung saan makakasabay sila sa needs na or sa demand na kailangan natin sa real life situation na meron tayo.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Irish Visa Chris and I'll continue the discussion of slides 6 to 10. 5. Curriculum development is a cooperative group activity. Group decisions are important in curriculum development. Consultation with stakeholders, when possible, will add to the sense of ownership Any significant change in the curriculum should involve a broad range of stakeholders to gain their understanding, support, and input. This means curriculum development is not done by one person only. Teacher, school heads, parents, students, and the community should work together to create a better curriculum. Their ideas and support help make the curriculum more effective and accepted by everyone. For example, before adding a new subject, the school asks teachers and parents for suggestion and feedbacks. Curriculum development is a decision-making process made from choices of alternatives. A curriculum developer or designer must decide what content to include, what teaching philosophy or point of view to support, how to provide for multicultural groups, what methods or strategies to use, and what type of evaluation to apply. This means curriculum development involves making important choices to create the best learning experience for students. Planners decide what students need to learn and the best way to teach it. For example, a school may include computer lessons because digital skills are important today. Next, number 7. Curriculum development is an ongoing process. Continuous monitoring, examination, evaluation, and improvement of curricula are to be considered in the design of the curriculum. So this means curriculum development does not stop after it is created. It should always be checked and improved to match the changing needs of students and society. For example, a school update its science lesson to include new discoveries and technology. And number 8, curriculum development is more effective if it is a comprehensive process rather than piecemeal. So, in this curriculum, a curriculum design should be based on a careful plan, intended outcomes clearly established, support resources and needed time available, and teaching staff pedagogically equipped. This means curriculum planning works better when it is complete and organized, not done little by little without direction. Good planning helps teachers and students succeed. For example, before opening a new subject, a school prepares books, lesson plans, and teacher training first. So, number 9, curriculum development is more effective when it follows a systematic process. So, a curriculum design is composed of desired outcome, subject matter content complemented with reference, a set of procedures, needed materials and resources, and an evaluation procedure that can be placed in a matrix. This means curriculum development should follow a step-by-step process with clear goals, lessons, materials, and assessment. This makes teaching more organized and effective. For example, in math, students first learn basic operation before moving to algebra. That's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. For number 10, curriculum development starts from where the curriculum is. Most read curriculum planners and designers should begin with the existing curriculum. An existing curriculum design is a good starting point for any teachers who plans to enhance and enrich the curriculum. Sa paggawa o sa pagdevelop ng curriculum, nag-i-start to sa kung ano yung meron or yung existing na. Hindi agad sila gumagawa ng panibago, kundi ini-enhance lamang nila or ini-improve yung existing curriculum para mas maging effective sa mga students. Next, elements or components of a curriculum design, we have behavioral objective or intended learning outcomes and content subject matter. For behavioral objective or intended learning outcomes, it is desired learning outcome that is to be accomplished in a particular learning episode, engaged in by the learners under the guidance of the teacher. Sa behavioral objectives or intended learning outcomes naman ay ito yung goals kung ano dapat yung matututunan ng isang student sa isang lesson. Halimbawa na lang, after the lesson, dapat kaya nila ma-explain yung tinakal mo na lesson. Or sa math naman, kaya nilang ma-solve yung problems after na pagdi-discuss mo. And mag-a-apply nila yung natutunan nila. And the next is content subject
Content or subject matter should be relevant to outcomes of the curriculum. Sa content or subject matter naman, ito yung actual na itinuturo sa students tulad ng topics, concepts, at activities. Dapat align din ito sa learning outcomes para sigurado na aabot ang goals ng lesson. And the next is references. The reference follows the content. It tells where the content or subject matters has been taken. For example na lang itong Romo Salvador B. 2013 Horticulture and Exploratory Course, Lorimar Publishing Incorporation, Quezon City. Sa reference naman is ito yung pinagkukunan natin ng mga information na tuturo natin sa mga students natin. Pwede tayong kumuha sa book, sa articles, o sa modules. Mahalaga din ito para mas masiguro natin na tama at reliable ang ituturo ng isang teacher or natin.
Now let's move on to an important part of the curriculum design: teaching and learning method and assessment, and also the evaluation. These are the strategies that shape how students experience learning and how we measure their growth. We have the teaching and learning method. These are the activities with the learners derive the experience, allow cooperation, competence, as well as the individualism or independence learning of the student. In activities, we have cooperative learning, independent learning, and competitive activities. When we say cooperative learning, this is when the students work together, share ideas, and solve problems. As a team, it builds collaboration and social skills. And when we say independent learning, here the students take responsibility for their own progress. They study, research, and practice on their own to develop self-discipline. Okay, when we say competitive activities, this encourages the student to challenge themselves and others. A healthy competition can motivate learning to strive for excellence and for the better future. So now let's talk about the assessment and evaluation. Assessment is how we check if the learning goals are being achieved. It can be formative, ongoing feedback during the learning process, or summative, which measure overall achievement at the end. We have the three main types, which is the self-assessment, per-assessment, and teacher assessment. When we say self-assessment, students reflect on their own learning, helping them monitor progress. When we say per-assessment, classmates give feedback to each other, which builds critical thinking and communication. The teacher assessment. The teacher design tests or activities and provide feedback on the student performance. So now let's move on to application of the fundamental component to the other curriculum design, which is we have here the intended outcome, content or the subject matter, method or strategies, and also the evaluation. And finally, these components, outcomes, content, strategies, and evaluation can be applied to any curriculum design, whether traditional or modern. These four pillars ensure that teaching is purposeful, structured, and measurable. So, teaching method gives students different way to learn, while assessment ensure we know how well those methods are working. Together, they form the backbone of effective curriculum design.